Welcome. We're back after a longer than planned break. This is the Hard Rock Show live stream as usual. Back to the Thursday night groove. I'm Andrew, and I've been joined by the regular crew here. So Bell on the opposite side of the screen to me, Dave opposite corner, and Jeff underneath on the screen there. Thanks for jumping in yet again. We're glad to be back. It's just been a long break. We've got a lot going on. So just apologies before we get stuck into things because it started off as like we just needed to have a week, and then it became longer than that, and it's just sort of like it just all got out of hand because everyone's lives just sort of turned upside down. In particular, Dave and myself trying to get around financial year. We both work in manufacturing. Just this year in particular, for some reason, Dave kicked both of our asses, even though we're working completely different industries in different parts of the country. Just for some reason this year, something stupid went on. I don't know what it is in the water at the moment, but things aren't quite going to plan. But we're back. We're here. We muddled through as we do, and we're glad to be back. So thanks for everyone for their patience. We do apologize. We're back into the swing of things now. We'll keep going until the end of the year. Michael's here. Hi, strangers. Yes, we are. Good to see you. Same with Kat.
Hey.
Welcome back, dudes and dudette. Yes, we're back. Tonight, as always, we got a lot to get through. We're back into it now. So we got the backyard banger is Visualis with Rights of the Eclipse, and Bell has that segment. We're going to choose albums from July 85 in the Builder Collection game. I've got the other game, something different tonight. Dave has Global Grooves, which is Wednesday 13 Mid-Death Crisis, and hence the t-shirt there. And the King of the Riff tonight is Cold Chisel East versus Vulvagun, Cold Moon over Babylon. It's round 2 of this season of King of the Riff. Jody says hello to everyone as always. Make sure you jump in the comments and say hi. And the question of today here is, because there's a bit of this ties into hard rock happenings coming up in a little bit, but this is do you want bands, Dave? I know you've got a lot of thoughts on this one. Do you want bands to play the same or different sets when they're playing night after night after night? That's the question for tonight. Do you want bands to play the same set in a row, or do you want different sets if you see them 2 nights in a row? That's what I'm asking you all out there tonight. Get in the comments, let us know, and we'll keep muddling on through as we always do. Starting off with the usual segment, which is Hot Rocks. We're going to recap a couple of weeks here, and then we'll get stuck into things. For those playing along in Patreon, we are going to do sort of a bit of a catch-up on this in the coming weekend ahead, so just stay tuned for that one. But the new songs currently in Tastemakers, you have Big Old Nasty Let Down with Wrong Side of the Law, Fading Hour, Leave It All Behind, Invasion with Loaded Gun, Carnival with their new single Drone, their first in a little while. We have Motor Jesus with Return to the Badlands, Southern River Band with Don't Take It to Heart, Sweet Electric with Feel Good Love Song. I'm assuming Jeff's still trying to get his computer to reboot. We have Tailor Made Rejects, speaking of computers, with Life Sucks. And then we have The Lazies, Hot Under the Collar, and Snake White Whiskey with Living to Die. I'll get Jeff back in here as soon as he pops back into the room. Just to recap a couple of things from the last round that we didn't get to last time around. So number 10 was 8 over Point of View. 9 was Anthony Lucasen with Our Final Song. 8 was Electric State with What Do You Want? Number 7 was Crown, Waiting for You. 6 was Shiraz Lane with Plastic Heart. Number 5, Cicada Stone, Long Way Down Acoustic. Number 4 was Devilskin with Swelter. Number 3 was Nesta, In the Name of Rock and Roll. Number 2, 6th Century Crosswinds. And 1, The Ugly Kings, Wicked Witch of Wonder. So congrats to Ugly Kings for their number 1 song on our little playlist there. We're going to quickly recap these ones because we're going to do the songs a bit different this week. So we'll see how this plays out. So for this week in Hot Rocks, this is our current top 10 songs. Number 10 is Burning Witches with Inquisition, put forward by Michael. That one made it to number 10. Number 9 is Crown, Waiting for You. It's in there for a few weeks now. Jolly put it forward. It's still hanging on. Number 8, Shiraz Lane, Plastic Heart, coming in at number 8 again. It's in its second week. I think it was 6 last time around. Number 7, Bendigo from Memory Band, Space Goat with Concede Defy. That's the latest from them. Number 6, Electric State, What Do You Want? Number 5, Alice Cooper, Wild Ones. Number 4 is Nesta, In the Name of Rock and Roll. This is our newest one that's going to be like Those Damn Crows last year. It just keeps going on and on and on. So that one's before, so Jelly put a good one there. Number 3, Muse, of all bands. Bell put this forward, Unravelling. So that one made it to number 3 this week.
What's that supposed to mean? Of all bands, it's a rock band.
One Muse album over the show's history, I think it is. One.
Oh well, that's like just.
We're going to change at the rate we're going, I think. Anyway, number 2, Freeze the Fall with Rot from Michael G, and number 1 this week was Carly Jewel with There's a Jewel in Town, the latest single, which is the title track of her new album, which is out now. So go and check it out. What is this, Jeff, with the crap? I don't know, something. He's put a new nickname in there. I would show, but I can't find a button for that right now. What have you done, Jeff?
No, I don't know. It's just I'm having some issues, but I'll get through.
All right. We'll figure. Nicole's here. Howdy, all. Good to see you, Nicole. Thanks for jumping in as always. Now, just to recap here, what we're going to do is, because we had a couple of weeks there where we didn't do anything much, I gave everyone the option of going through the top 4 new songs of each week and saying, what song do you want? Pick your poison, so to speak, and then go through and have a chat about that one. So I'm going to go with the same draft order we had in the chat between us behind the scenes here. So, Belle, you're going to go first. So your song that you chose was Shiraz Lane, Plastic Heart, the latest single from the Finnish band. It's from the upcoming 4th studio album. I'm not sure on its title and release date yet, but it is on the way. This is a band we've enjoyed in the past, over the years. Vinny put this song forward. It spent the last few weeks holding strong in our chart overall. About this particular song, though, the band have to say Plastic Heart is a straightforward, all-out hard-rocking track, a nod to the more traditional Shiraz Lane sound. Fueled by fierce, flaming riffs and scorching melodies, the song delivers its theme with full force. The drums and the bass keep the engine roaring, and driving the track forward with unstoppable energy. Plastic Heart is a musical outburst against deceptive, fake, and snake-like personalities, especially those who hide their true intentions behind the guise of kindness. They added, this is the song to get you pumped up for the summer season, igniting any festivity with its aggressive, untamed, and raw energy. Belle, take it away.
Okay. What they said at the end. I give this. All right. No, I did have some things to say. So I just thought it was 1989 meet 2025.
Yeah.
Like what? It's just a good blend, I thought. It had the vibe of the late 80s glam rock, like glam hard rock with ultra modern production and kind of feel. So I sort of had 2 vibes. But really good, solid songwriting. The chorus is so catchy. The guitar riffs were cool. Guitar tone was great. And it just gave the rhythm playing a deep, rich sound, despite there was like an overlay that white noise that the modern mixing kind of gives you. Just this kind of it's not atmosphere, because that's a different thing. But I don't know. I just think of it as white noise. I can't explain it any other way. But not in a bad way. It's not. It wasn't just fuzz and annoying.
It's almost like an artificial record hiss. Almost.
It's something. It was something, but it was cool. The vocals were great for the style of music. We even get like a Baz style moment with this high sustained note. I don't know, somewhere. I think it led into the guitar solo. It was cool. Speaking of the guitar solo, it was tuneful, skilled without an ounce of wankery.
I love how that was called on. Yeah.
No wankery. Great use of old school gang vocals they had through it. I don't care if it was like, multi-tracked or again, it just sounded great.
Yep.
And the band name's cool, Shiraz Lane. It just makes me feel like drinking, even if it's like 9 in the morning.
Of course. Yep.
It's actually noir, but
it is for summer.
I'm
Did it make you feel summery down there?
No. I don't really like Shiraz. It's a bit strong, but anyway, it still makes me feel like drinking it. I can't fault this track. It has multi-generational appeal for all the reasons listed above, and it's one of the best songs I've heard all year. So I'm going to give it 10 shots.
Wow.
Nice.
Of Shiraz, yeah?
Yeah, 10 shots of Shiraz. Okay, have fun with that. Enjoy that tomorrow. All right, we're off to a good start now after a little break. Let's do the usual horns up, horns down, whatever it's going to do here. I enjoyed this one quite a lot. This was really cool. So that was nicely done there. Like Phil said, great shot of melodic hard rock. For your interest, folks, there are reference tracks in the description of the episode here and also in the comments as we go through things. Michael's here. Hey, all, good to see you again, as always, too, our good friend. So we'll more to go along with it. We have another song to get through. Jeff, you're up next as we go through the motions here. So I'm going to put the link in the comments like I was saying before, but you can check it out in the description box if you miss it. Going to go with Muse, Unravelling. This is the latest from the English band, their first new music since their 2022 album, The Will of the People, which I think is the one that Dave and I reviewed a few years ago now. Bell put this one forward. It peaked number 3 in our chart. The official description of this song states, Unravelling puts a new spin on the genre clash creativity that has become a hallmark of the Muse experience. Haunting arpeggiated synths establish a foreboding tone before it suddenly detonates into a colossal wall of barbed riffs and unleashing a full drama hook that pulsates with their renowned maximalist theatricality. Make of that what you will. Jeff actively chose this song. So, Jeff, what made this one appeal to you?
Well, first I have to preface my review by saying that I tried something different. I thought I would just kind of get with the 21st century. So I wrote out a review, and then I thought, what can I do to make this review extra special? I know I can put it into AI and say, please fuck with my review and spit out something. And it did. I'm going to read that now to you. All right. So Unravelling by Muse. Now, there's no doubt about it. Muse is a marvel of a band. And honestly, I can't think of another band that has come along in the past 30 years, is still here, and has changed music the way that they have. They are really, in that sense, they're quite a marvel. But they've done it from one album at a time, and rarely from the front. They sort of just do their thing. And, you know, if they have a song that gets on the charts, great. If not, it doesn't seem to faze them. They just keep doing what they do. So the thing about Muse's sound is that it's all theirs. And yet how they get to that sound is they take other elements from other genres, throw it all into a blender, and somehow it pops out a Muse song. So in other words, nobody quite sounds like Muse, that's a cool thing. That's hard to do. So I think it's safe to say that Muse has a formula, and one that seems to find its way into everything that they do. So Unravelling by Muse masterfully blends. Now you can tell where the AI comes in. Masterfully blends EDM, prog metal, djent, and operatic rock into a cohesive and intensely atmospheric track, thanks to meticulous co-production by Dan Lancaster. Now, right off the bat, this opening riff actually reminds me of Stranger Things. There's just a weird sort of drone thing happening that's right off the bat. Reminds me of like the intro to Stranger Things. Yeah. Maybe that's just me.
No.
You got it too? All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Now, this song immediately attempts to set a cinematic, moody tone with layered EDM-inspired arpeggiated synths and urgent electronic drums, creating a sense of both futuristic chill and impending drama. Can you tell who wrote that? And I've never been a fan of the djent-style guitar playing. But once again, here, Bellamy attempts to bombast our senses with a in-your-face djent-style guitar riff. That's not my thing, but hey, it works. Some people like it. Now, mid-song, the track dramatically shifts with a heavy, aggressive, and tightly compressed B-string djent riff in drop E. I didn't know that, but the AI did. Underpinned by a deep 5-string bass. Now, this is, despite their heavy, aggressive impact, these guitars are still clean enough to allow the synths to remain audible in a way that is part of, as I said, the Muse formula. The production here thrives on contrasts, moving from quiet, melancholic verses with rising synth. Why do I struggle saying that word? Synth intensity, explosive, distorted pre-choruses, and chorus drops, maintaining dynamic movement throughout. Matt Bellamy's vocals are given a spacious, operatic quality through generous reverb and subtle delay, which enhances the song's grand scale and emotional resonance. You can write this shit, you can't say it. And especially with the lingering echoes in the chorus. Now, Lancaster's production, exceptionally crisp and polished. All elements are clearly defined, given the space and precise frequency separation, allowing for the powerful low-end djent riffs to coexist seamlessly with bright electronic textures. So how this all works together, and thank fuck this review is almost over. This song structures builds atmospheric tension into the intro. Like I said, it reminds me of Stranger Things, and verses and throws in synth and electronic percussion. This leads to a slow rise in harmonic tension in the pre-chorus, culminating in an explosive riff-laden payoff in the chorus, still supported by synth and deep bass. A brief prog metal guitar-centered eruption in the bridge. Oh, I know. In the bridge solo provides a moment of instrumental focus before returning to the chorus's emotional weight. Unravelling is a testament to Muse's ability to fuse extreme genres. The sound design here is meticulously crafted, as I said, by a hybrid of EDM, serenity, and metal ferocity. The production quality is exceptionally polished, with the layer throughout and EQ'd and compressed within an inch of its life. It really is. And spatially placed. This mirrors the emotional arc of the song's lyrical narrative, moving from feelings of being trapped to emotional breakdown and ultimately a resolution. To sum up, if you like Muse, you're going to love this song. As I said, it's all part of the familiar Muse formula. Now, if you were, on the other hand, looking for something different, wanting the band to finally break from the slightly stale mold that they've created, look elsewhere. But for what it is, this song does everything right and just in the right amounts in its own brand of musology. That's my term. I liked it for what it was, and I gave it 7 shots.
Okay, cool. Interesting choice. Let's do the rounds. We've got that one done. Horns up, horns down. Which way are we going with this one? So I'm actually, I liked it. That fucking riff in the middle. Wow, that was a great bit of composition and performance there. It wasn't complicated, but they did a really good job with that. So
they did. Let me just say, never doing a fucking AI review ever again. That was wow.
You can tell where it switched. You can definitely tell where it switched. Like what part?
And it's also its summary was not accurate as well. Like, sorry, I have to say, the bit about if you want something different from Muse, or look elsewhere. This is so different.
I thought it was different. Yeah,
it's so different. Like Muse they're not even a hard rock; they're a rock band. This was so fucking heavy for Muse. So I have to.
Can I just say
argue with the AI there?
Well, I'll take offense because that was my.
My writing. Well, you talk about Muse. That is not Muse. They're not a genty metal band.
No, but they are formulaic, and so regardless of how they get there, their songs do sound similar.
I still thought that breakdown was fucking something else. But anyway,
really well done. Yeah.
Put a pin in that one. Let's see what the audience has to say. Because back to Shiraz Lane. Make sure you give us a context point if you're going to comment here. Michael says Shiraz Lane 6 shots for me. Michael says Dan Lancaster produced a few tracks off of the Warning's latest album, and another connection to the Warning is that Danny was gifted a guitar by Matt Bellamy after they toured together. Yes, I remember that story going on, which is really, really cool as well. Michael C says Muse is a prime example of a band that hits every button they can. I've never cared for them 5 shots, but deducting 2 for overproduction, 3 shots my final offer. Oh,
okay.
There we go.
They're not for everyone.
Well, let's do a counterpoint here because the next one is going to be much more organic by comparison. Dave, you're up with Alice Cooper, Wild Ones. This is the second single from the upcoming 8th studio album from the reunified Alice Cooper band. The new album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper, is due July 25th, and it's safe to say there's a bit of hype building up around this one. Nominated by Jolie, this peaked number 5 on our chart, and as such, in a move that I don't think will shock anyone at all. Dave had to take this one because we all know how much of a fan he is, and so am I for that matter too, but Dave is our super fan on the record. So please, Dave, I'm sure I've left a lot of blanks for you to fill in. How about it?
Okay. Old men playing old-sounding music, which, in my opinion, is fantastic. Obviously, no AI needed for this because AI wouldn't get it. I'm biased as hell. All Alice is good Alice as far as I'm concerned. In my opinion, he hasn't ever released a bad song. Not always great songs, but never a truly bad song. It's awesome the old Alice Cooper group is back together. This isn't a rehash of the old time diva. They've managed to capture that old energy and the old vibe while creating something that sounds pretty good. It's not like the weirdness that they did on their first two albums, Pretty for You and Easy Action. They're not going to that extreme. But if you're familiar with the deeper cuts on Love It to Death, this is along the lines of Long Way to Go or Caught in the Dream, which are cool deep cuts from those albums. Really hoping this new album has something like Black Juju, because that would be cool. Straight up rock song. In a way, it celebrates the way things used to be, a much better time in music and in the world. But watching the music video, it's a fun song to listen to, but it does have an element of sadness because they're all getting really old. And Alice is 77 years old, for fuck's sake. He sounds amazing, but this could be the last ride. I've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 Alice Cooper albums when they're being released. But you see all these old guys together and you remember them. You see the video footage from back then, and yeah, time is ticking. But I'm just thankful that he's still touring and still making music. So nothing but respect. Cool song. Give it 8 shots. Looking forward to the album.
Nice.
I'm with you on that one, Dave. Horns up from me. I enjoyed this one quite a lot. This was just a really cool. I love the old school feel. Like it just felt really fucking like the Alice Cooper special we've done in the past. This felt like revisiting that in the good way. Not
those early albums. I'd be curious to know if they recorded this to tape. It sounds organic. It sounds old school.
I reckon they definitely did the whole trick of recording in the room together. I don't think they separated out too far.
Well, the music videos in this is like a studio thing, and there's a massive desk there. I don't know if they went digital because you don't see any tape, but yeah.
You can also, what they do as a trick, just for people that may or may not know about this, what they do sometimes is put it all down digitally and then run it out of the desk through 2-inch tape before putting it back in. And that adds all that sort of fatness and warmth that you want. So you can do it all in digital, do all your editing, and then export it to tape as part of your bounce, and then bring it back in to smooth it all off. So people do that as a trick to add there's an actual physical mechanic in the magnetic of tape, the metal elements inside of it that actually impact the way the sound behaves that you just can't replicate digitally. So it's still a thing. That's why tape is still never ever going away. Pain in the ass to edit, but it's definitely got its place in what it does to sound.
You can try as much to do shit with computers, but you'll never get it as well as the old school way of doing it.
That warmth, you can't duplicate it, man. You cannot get that warmth any other way. That's my experience, but we'll see what other people have to say about that. Kat has gone, everybody needs an Alice, yes. And Michael liked it at Alice, 8 shots, loved the track and the video. It is a very cool video. It is that nostalgia hit, which is very, very cool. But now we have one more song to go, which is my pick of the bunch, which is Sick Century with Crosswinds. The latest from this US band that we have covered over a few times now. As always, Kat put this one forward, and it peaked number 2 the other week in our chart. This track, though, what made it stand out to me and why I wanted to give this one some love is because whilst we've had a bit more mixed feedback over the duration, which is, what we do here, we all have different points of view. This one in particular, as far as I recall, Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, this one was about him losing his father, if I'm correct on that one. But either way, there's a real personal touch to this one, which I thought really did hook me in. So I'm going to go over it. Now, there were a few songs I wanted to go with, like there's Carly Jewel and the Ugly Kings, for example. I could have gone with those ones, but this one I just wanted to give this one a go. I know I've given him time, all those things I said before, but for me, I wanted to say that this is like the best song I've heard from this band yet. Out of all the songs I've done, I reckon this is the best one. I think all the previous issues we've had with the band over the different conversations we've had, like too much polish and all that kind of stuff, this is the song that finally sort of strips things back a bit more for these guys. They're still polished, don't get me wrong, but they have leaned into the vocal, the space, and leaning into the emotive depth and weight and putting a heartfelt performance into it. And I thought that was a really nice change of pace for these guys. It really does make there's less room to hide, and they pulled it off kind of thing. I think the emotions on this song really pour out of the lyrics and the composition overall too. It's one that does pull on those heartstrings, like I was saying, and the vocal performance on this one was just the icing on the cake. You could feel, there's a lot behind it, and you could feel it coming through in the song. Like I said, for these guys, it is a more stripped back song. It starts out with just some Foley and some piano. It builds up with a bit of an acoustic, vibe, and then continues on with vocal layering. Then by the time the chorus comes in, you get a bit more punch to things. When the chorus hits, it's a great payoff in the way this is written and performed. And I think that contrast between the verse and the chorus is really well done. There's a bit of guitar layering in this one. So if you wanted to get hypercritical, you could say there's a lot of that going on. But I liked it. I thought it added more depth and atmosphere and feel to the song. I think that as it all builds up, as it goes through, it's all really well put together. I think there's a good guitar solo in this one as well. It's another great element to this track. I think the way the drums also build up as it goes along, especially leading into the solo, was a nice touch too. Still sounds very much like 6th Century. It's still it's all American, perfect for the rock radio sort of scene over there. But this for me is the song for them that probably it can and probably should cut through a lot more. They've had a lot of plays elsewhere, but I think this is the one that could hopefully put them a bit more on the map for a lot more people. Don't get me wrong, it's not the world's most original song out there. These, tend to follow some sort of formula. That's what makes them work. But this is one of those moments where, when it's well done, it deserves your attention. And for me, this is that. It's a sleek song, but there's a genuinely vulnerable side to this band that we're hearing for the first time in my experience on this one that makes them all the more endearing to me. So this one really did sort of land and stay with me for the duration of it. I hope that did for everyone else as well. We'll do the rounds in a second. But for me, I gave this one 9 shots. I really enjoyed this song. Like I said, the best thing I've heard from 6th Century yet. I really did enjoy it quite a bit. Time to see if the others agree. Horns up, horns down. Where are we at with this one? Wow, that's cool. We got one that we all agree on, which is actually a nice touch. So, Kat, hopefully you liked that one. Actually got the feedback here. His dad was diagnosed with cancer, so he wrote it for him. He's still fighting it. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Kat's gone, nice review, thanks. 10 shots for me, of course. I figured as much, but we got everyone involved in this one, which is great to see that everyone gave that one the horns up as well. And Jolie said, thanks on Alice Dave, just got home, and hi and yay to everyone. So Jolie's jumped in on Discord. Good to see you here as well. Alrighty. Time to move over now to the hard rock happenings, the news side of things here. There's a bit to get through, not heaps, but a little bit of a light read for me. Suicidal Tendencies are returning to Australia and New Zealand. Suicidal Tendencies are coming back down under, and they're not just riding shotgun with Metallica on the M72 tour. They're dropping a run of explosive headline shows while they're here on top of those commitments. This marks exactly 2 years since their last visit, and they're bringing with them a stack of firsts. Their first new single in 7 years, Adrenaline Addict, featuring Aussie artist Nisha Starr. The first Aussie and New Zealand shows with Jay Weinberg, formerly of Slipknot, behind the kit on drums, and their first shows in Auckland and Perth since 2018. The line for the band now is Mike Moore, Ben Weinman from the Dillinger Escape Plan, Dean Pleasance, Ty Trujillo, yes, the son of Metallica's Rob Trujillo, and the powerhouse on drums, Jay Weinberg. In an interesting twist, on all the dates, the support act is Big Nota. This is a heavy music new project by rapper Briggs, who is ditching the hip-hop side of things and leaving that for full-blown riffs and all that sort of band energy that you want from there as well. The dates are October 31, November 7, November 9, 11, 14, and 18. They're playing Magnet House in Perth, the Forum Melbourne, Pier Band Room in Frankston, Tivoli Brisbane, the Roundhouse in Sydney, and the Power Station in Auckland. Tickets are on sale now, so have at it. Another one is there's a lot of tours. Erasmus have announced their debut Australian tour. Finland's rock export here. The Erasmus are finally heading to Australia for the first time in January 2026. Since their debut album Pete went gold when they were just 16, this band have become icons in Finland with global chart fixtures, racking up 6 times platinum and 8 times gold certifications, 11 albums, and a career filled with evolution and surprise. It's taken a while to get here. Blending heavy guitars, futuristic electronics, and infectious pop hooks, their music is a rallying cry for outsiders everywhere. Frontman Laurie Yonan sums it up best with, "We, the weirdos, unite and feed off people's judging attitudes. Are you a weirdo? Then join us." These shows are more than just a concert. They're a celebration of individuality, self-expression, and raw emotion. Playing January 30 at the Trifford in Brisbane, January 31, the Manning Bar in Sydney, and February 1st, Max Watts in Melbourne. So East Coast only.
Nice.
Get around it. Tickets are on sale now, or pre-sale and general sale are open already. We also have Heavy Fest, which is led by Heavy Magazine. This one is a Sydney and Brisbane show. This one is headlined by Boulevard of Eyes. This is an international act fronted by Chloe Trujillo, but also led by bassist Mark Dalbeth, formerly of Bellicera. This was formed after a chance meeting in LA. They've since dropped 2 powerful EPs. Now they're signed to X Music, another one on that stable, and their new release is coming on November 21st, followed by a national tour as well. On both these dates in Heavy Fest, they have the glam-fueled chaos of the Midnight Devils straight out of Nebraska and no strangers to Aussie shores after tearing it up here in 2024. Their Get Laid in the USA tour and single Shock the World have kept the momentum blazing for them. The dates are, this is on the harbour in Sydney, November 23rd. It's on a boat, so it's boarding 11:30 a.m. sharp. You've got Boulevard of Eyes, the Midnight Devils, Awaken the Hate, Frankie's world-famous house band, Audio Rain, Wayward Kings, and Coden. That is from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the Sydney Harbour. Then you got in Brisbane, it's at the Soapbox Beer. Yeah, okay. Then you got, it's doors at 12 noon. There's 12 hours of music on this one, which is Boulevard of Eyes headlining. You got the Midnight Devils, Dream Killers, These Four Walls, Piston Fist, Snakebite Whiskey, Goatzilla, Chaos Sphere, Sound Affliction, Engraved, and Black Star. So all of that is there as well. All of these are only sort of like $40 to $50 a ticket, so get around it and have fun with that one. Last one, which is a recent announcement that I think that everyone is going to be enjoying here, is Sebastian Bach has sold out his Melbourne show and as such added a second one, which is going to be where he plays Slave to the Grind in full. So he's coming here in November 2025, and Melbourne fans have obviously, very much sold things out. So the first show at the Forum sold out in days, and in response to that, a second show, like I said, has been added on November 24th, but this is why I asked the question at the top of the show, because this is a full different set. This is why they're playing Slave to the Grind in full, front to back, in a Melbourne exclusive event only at this second show. So this means, you don't often hear these tracks like Monkey Business, Waste of Time, Quicksand G's, other ones. Like, you got the big hits, but this is a chance to hear every single song on the album. But then on the other show, you're also going to be hearing the band play, or Bach playing anyway, Skid Row's self-titled debut album in full as well. So it's 2 albums back to back. If you're going to the 2 Melbourne shows, enjoy it. But otherwise, the rest of the tour is the self-titled debut album. That's the show. So November 21st, Fremantle at the Freo Social. November 24th, Melbourne, the Forum. The second show is the next day. So that's the second show. The first one's already sold out, and 27th. It's weird. They added a second show, which is before the first one. Anyway, so 24th is the second show. Dave, you're still on mute there, mate.
The second show is on the Monday, and the main show is on the Thursday.
Yeah, just called
just
it by surprise.
They probably couldn't get
and he'll also do like some solo stuff as well in the second half of the show. Yeah.
So there's a bit going on there, but the 24th is the second show. Get this. Then Adelaide, the Gov, 25th. 27th is Melbourne's the first show, or quote unquote the first show. That's where you play the debut album. And then you got November 28th, Sydney Enmore Theatre, and November 29th, Brisbane at Eaton's Hill Hotel. Obviously, tickets are on sale, so have at it. Just because we've been away for a few weeks, the new releases that have come out that are notable, we have Babe Metal with Metal Fourth. That may not be notable to everyone, but it is one of those ones people are talking about. Motorhead have the Manticore tapes, which is a quote-unquote new release. It's of older recordings and stuff. Sodom released The Arsonist. Venom released Black and Priests. War Kings released Armageddon. Born of Osiris have Through Shadows. Calva Louise, that band we all loved a few weeks ago, have their Edge of Abyss is out now. Diamond Head have Live and Electric, a new live album from them. And Girl School, speaking of live albums, have Running Wild live in London. Which brings us to the releases for tomorrow. You've got Abigail Williams with A Void Within Existence, Arsenal with Armored Choir re-release, Ashes of Ares, New Messiah, Blind Equation, A Funeral in Purgatory, Bush, believe it or not, this band is still around, with I Beat Loneliness, Darko with their Canvas EP, Five Finger Death Punch have 20 years of Five Finger Death Punch, a compilation, Kicks with Cool Atomic Kicks box set, Margarita Witch Cult, Strung Out in Hell, Moeza, I don't know what that is. And then you got Nefarious to the Power. Paradise Lost have a re-release of their self-titled album. Ramonda, The Walls Are Crumbling Down. Recorrupted with Sorrow Will Drown Us All in Time. And Stardust Soul, Scars on Broadway, Scarred for Life, and Slaughter to Prevail. Grizzly. That is it for the new releases as we go through things here. Let's go to comments quickly. Michael said, Sick Century 5 shots. Didn't do it for me. I like the last one more. Okay, there we go. Guru's here. Good to see you. Going Greaves Rockers across the plane. Good to see you as always. Hopefully you enjoyed the Hellfest a few weeks back. Hard Music guys, g'day all. Good to see you. Same as Man Family, g'day. Good to see you all here.
Hey.
Thanks for jumping in. And as we do, it is now time to move over to the Backyard Banger for this evening. So again, reference track in the comments and description, because we're going to throw to Belle in a minute with her thoughts on Visualis with their album Rites of the Eclipse. 11 tracks, 55 minutes. The debut album from the Sydney band, released independently in February 2025. Produced by Samantha Barker at El Capitano Records in Wollongong, New South Wales. Mixed and mastered by Louis Echegolan at Metanoia Records in Mexico City. 2 singles have been released from this one in Dreamchaser and Sons of the Sun, the latter featuring Joe Amore of King Crown. This sees a lineup change with David Simbab on drums. However, the drums were recorded on the album by the outgoing Finley Ford. About the album, the band have to say, this is an album that's been a long time in the making. Ever since I joined the band just over 2 years ago, the 5 of us come from different countries and backgrounds. This is the vocalist, which is reflected in the shadowing the light behind it. Sorry, reflected in the music. Bloody hell. Some tracks are light, while others have a darker tone and story to it, like an eclipse shadowing the light behind it. The tracks showcase a passage of time and path we have traversed to get where we are and to tell the tale, says TNT. This compilation of tracks comprises compositions from the band's inception to present day. It showcases different elements and influences from each member involved, as we are all from different countries and parts of the world. We believe that Rites of the Eclipse is a good representation of how far we have come as a band and can't wait to share it with the world. We have given this band some time on the TV side of things, played a couple of their clips, but this is the first time I've really ventured heavily into their stuff in the live stream format. So all that said and done, Belle, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, so I'm just going to explain my review. So Jeff's was part Jeff, part AI. Mine is all Belle, but I did it on my... So normally if I review something, I'll listen, I'll write some notes and then polish them, if you can call my reviews polished. But what I did with this one was this is like not a reaction, but like this is my first listen through. I've just sort of written either as it was playing, or I've paused it because I needed to get some thoughts down. So yeah, this is kind of a
cool,
whatever you want to call that. So yeah, anyway, so I'd actually never heard of this band before. I feel like I say that a lot.
That's the point of the segment, though, really.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I hadn't heard even of them. So as I write this, I've just paused the album after hearing the intro track, which only goes for 1:17. Thoughts so far, I'm getting so much oral input, yet I have no idea where this is going to go. The drums are giving me that marching into hell vibe, like the beginning of Am I Evil? Yeah, so it was a bit like that. Reinforced by the rhythm guitar, and then this really nice swirly guitar melody comes in to sit over it all. And then I've got this dude growling in my ear, which only adds to the menacing vibe of the musical setting. And I like his growl too. It's very important to me how men growl. Sorry. I'm just going to keep reading. Wow.
Yes.
And let's not underrate the synth chords. That all-important drone note kicks the song off and it runs through the whole track. Great opener. I feel I've been armed and ready to go into battle. It just had that vibe. Okay, so we launch into the first full song on the album, Away, and only 20 seconds in, I'm getting more than I hoped for, and this is just a treat for the ears in every possible way. Classic chugging guitar, accompanied by light arpeggios on the synth and lead guitar. I'm already getting kind of Nightwish vibes, but it's also not like Nightwish. This is something new, exciting, but also familiar and comforting. And then the clean singing comes in, which is another surprise after hearing the intro track and the growls. I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to get, but no. And the guy has a great voice. And just as soon as my brain is processing and getting a taste of his tone and style, we switch back to harsh again. So it's like, holy shit, this is like, is this my perfect band? It's like a bingo card, like is getting pretty much stamped. I'm just about to put my hand up. And then I'm sure they're just fucking with me when they go into some twin guitar harmonies. So fucking bingo. Pausing again after that track to take a moment to process what I just heard, and thank Andrew for his supposed randomization allocation of albums to review.
There is
I'm staring.
It's not. It actually is a random assignment. It just goes through in order of whoever's up next gets the one that's got the lowest play count. That's how it works out now.
And I'll never stop, accusing you
myself.
Round
and round we go.
Right. So I want to hear more. So I hit play again. I guess I'd paused at that point. It's as I said, not polished. The song War and Pain starts, totally different vibe here, more riff and guitar driven, and the keys take a bit of a back seat. Very cool, kind of old school heavy metal of the early 80s feel with this one. Clean and harsh vocals interchange perfectly. The next song, Heritage, once again, a different feel. This one had kind of a folky rhythm and melody, which I guess suits the song's theme and lyrics, Heritage. At this point, I'm not even going to try to pigeonhole this band into any one genre. They're just writing and playing whatever the fuck they want. And I'm completely on board and ready for the ride, keen to see where each song takes me. The next track, called The Ones We Lost, has a lovely acoustic intro before it then launches into what unfolded into a really interesting sounding song. Kind of progressive in a earthy way with a great melodic and catchy chorus. Love the spoken words just before another really impressive solo. At this point, I feel like I'm getting familiar with the band's sound despite the variety of feels each song gives me so far. So they're all great in their own right, but I don't think I'd want a whole album of the same sounding song. I think the variety that you get with this album is one of the things that I like most about it. And I love hearing musicians explore music in this way. So moving on to Dreamchaser, cool title. I'm hoping for an equally cool song, and I'm not disappointed. This one, it moves along like a motherfucker, driving in a power metal way, but not annoying in a power metal way. This one has single written all over it, and I'm sure this would be a crowd favorite played live.
Yep.
The next track, Faith to Hell, once again surprised me because this is the first time I'd heard harsh vocals since I just wrote in brackets fine track because I meant to go back. But no, I'll just so whatever the last track was with harsh vocals. And I'd actually forgotten about them because it's just been clean and I've just been, along for the ride, enjoying them. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, they do that kind of moment. And I love this one. It's gritty, heavy, but melodic with some interesting rhythms. At this point, probably my favorite song so far. Outstanding clean vocals on this track too, for the short span that they were used. I'm actually wondering at this point if it's the same vocalist for both styles, and if so, props to you, dude.
Pretty sure it is.
The sound. Yeah, love the sound of both styles of vocals. Next track, Coma, is another banger. We're already way more than halfway into the album at this point, and quite often into filler territory right about now. But it feels as if they were holding back their best songs until now. Just another way that this album surprised me. So Coma has now overtaken Faith to Hell as my favorite song so far. This is just beautifully crafted and executed song. And the third last track we're at now is called Human, I think is what I mean. Once again, surprises me by launching into a synth-created rhythm, which gives off that electronic vibe. And I wasn't expecting it to lead into a dance track, but it easily could have from how it started. But no, we get a slow, dreamy, dark vibe that put me in mind of something that might have been written for an 80s sci-fi soundtrack, like Blade Runner or Tron or something like that. It had a vibe.
Yeah, it does start off,
Yeah. I love the chorus in this song. The vocalist is showing off his pipes here with some powerful sustained notes. This was another favorite, and again, a vibe all its own. I should be expecting the unexpected by now, but they keep surprising and impressing me with how diverse they are. The second last track, Metal Oath, got me hoping for an anthem of sorts, and that's what I got. It's an ode to heavy metal and the metal community, to metal legends past and present, and to the diehard fans. Once a metalhead, always a metalhead. Raise your horns proudly, people. This song is for us. I took the metal oath when I was 13 years old, and I will never break it. And last but not, I know I'm being corny, but that song just
means.
like it's
the song.
One of those songs. Last but not least, the track "Sons of the Sun" closes off the album. Try saying that with braces. It's not easy. Interesting intro with tribal drums and some kind of woodwind instrument, like a flute or a recorder. I'm not sure. Bye, Jeff. I guess I was boring him.
No,
another banger. It sounded like there was a guest vocalist on this one. Another fantastic voice to an already impressive vocals on the album.
Yeah, that was one with Joe Amore. Yeah, that was
okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Anyway, seriously, this album just did not slow down or get boring in any way. It left me wanting more as soon as it finished. There was more to talk about within each song, but there's only so much time. Okay. I'm going to give this album 7 shots. And I wrote this earlier today, actually, on another listen. The reason I didn't give it a high score is because although I love the album and the songwriting and the performances are great, I think there is still room for improvement, specifically in their overall. I think they could work on tightening things up as a unit. This might sound counterintuitive, but I think if they kind of loosen up a bit, it might tighten things up.
I know what you mean.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm probably just talking shit now. But anyway, look, they're really talented, and yeah, I would just love to sort of hear what they're putting out, like the next album or the one after. They just sound so enthusiastic, and that was a great energy. But they just kind of rein it in and relax and just sort of let it happen. But otherwise, that's my only criticism, I guess. But I hope these guys are putting out music because I love what they've created. Well done. Nice.
Cool. There we go. All right, we're off to a start with that one. Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, this was awesome. It's one of those albums where you have to expect the unexpected. You're not going to get in a good comfort spot and then just expect the same thing over and over. So 1 minute you could be listening to one thing and it's like, holy shit, they've managed to... A lot of the lyrics can be in like power metal world, but it's not stuck musically in the power metal. So there's a contrast of lyrical style against different types of music. There's a modern edge to it, but it sounds organic. It's just various styles of metal seamlessly blended together. There's some amazing guitar work. Solos are amazing. As Belle mentioned, there's harsh vocals, but then it gets stuck in the harsh vocals. There's clean vocals as well. When there is harsh vocals, they're all coherent, so that's cool with me. But yeah, this was a cool listen from start to finish, and I give it 8 out of 10. My standout tracks were Away and Heritage. That Irish melody was really cool.
Nice, cool. All right, gonna get some different standout tracks, I reckon, across this. We'll see how we go. But Jeff, how about you?
Yeah, so I listened to this album a number of times. Just because for some reason I just wasn't getting it. I listened to it over and over and over again, hoping that it would sort of gel with me, but for some reason there was just something about it. Now, having said all that, I could recognize that, there was some talent there was some good songwriting, the whole bit, but it was just like, it was just something that it didn't gel with me, didn't click. So that's just me. That has nothing to do with the band. That's just the way I interpret it. So I gave it a good go. I tried to listen to it, and I couldn't get to that point where I thought, you know what, this is knocking my socks off. This wasn't even putting my socks on. So I'm gonna say that for me it's 6 shots, but I don't think that it's a bad album. I liked it, but it just, I think it was, for me, it was like the musically, I really enjoyed it, but I think where it sort of fell down for me was the vocals. I didn't get the vocals that much. I thought the vocals were a bit shaky. They didn't quite sound as well produced as the instruments, at least in my opinion. So, that's just the way I took it. So,
cool. Oh, good. I'll finish it off then. a little like Jeff. This one grew on me over time. It's a little rough around the edges, not in a bad way, but you can tell it's not that whole power metal things we mentioned a few times here. This is not as hyper polished as a lot of power metal bands are. So they kept that grit, which I thought ended up becoming a strength of the overall sound of it. There's this raw organic quality that gives it, that grit that I was talking about. But in a genre that's usually super, super clean, that actually helps this to stand out for mine. Musically, there's a lot going on, which Bell covered off. There's power metal is, definitely a foundation to this one, but they bring in growls, almost thrash-like riffs. There's a bit of folk and industrial elements in this one as well. The dual guitars, I loved the way how they were panned hard left and half right. So you got different tones and different placement of them. Around that, the synth was worked in nicely, and it all balanced across the album well. It's atmospheric without overpowering anything, and that was the cool thing about the synth on this one. I think if I was going to critique the mixing side of this one, it'd be the bottom end, particularly on the drums. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, but I found they could have done a bit more punch and clarity in the mix. I just felt a bit buried. I think a little more weight and definition down the bottom end of the mix here would have, sort of really helped this one sort of pop out of the speakers. It still sounds good, don't get me wrong. That raw edge is good, but sort of like to have heard a bit more oomph on that regard. That said, the songwriting across this is where it stands out for me. War and Pain is an early standout track on this one. It's got a great hook. The way they contrast that clean and harsh vocal on that song in particular was spot on for me. Heritage has this really cool Iron Maiden feel to it that, goes in the full folk metal vibe thing, but it doesn't lose any of their previously done heaviness across the album. And the Ones We Lost really shows how well they can use space as well when you go through it. It's intense, but it breathes. And the little bass solo in that song was a nice little touch. Great writing on that front for me as well. As the album moves forward, it gets a lot darker, which is what I'm the same as Bell. My experience with the deeper you got into it, the more I started to enjoy it. It just sort of keeps things engaging, that change of feel. I think Coma is probably my personal highlight track on this album. It pulls everything together, that tonal shift of it, the use of harmony, the mood, it just worked for me. Human is another strong track, I think, right afterwards as well, slowing things down while still carrying emotional weight. And the layered growls in that one too, with in the background. In the background, there was a really cool little extra something in that track in particular. For me, though, not everything landed. Metal Oath, yes, Bell, I get what you're going for, but it did feel cheesy to me. It was, trying to do this big live anthem. It didn't quite stick the landing. Didn't quite fit the rest of the tone of the album as well. I thought it just sort of stood out a bit toward the end. But also the closing track, Sons of the Sun. It's a great concept. I love the story being told, but it just felt like a bit wordy. They were trying to fit a lot of words in not a lot of time, and just sort of another one didn't quite stick the landing for me personally. But those are pretty minor gripes overall, and a very, very good album. It's solid. It's well written, well played, well performed. There's a lot of character in how they've approached their own sound and using the different parts of they come from different parts of the world, and they've incorporated a lot of that into it, and you can tell. A different sound. If you like your power metal with a bit of a twist, something a bit more bite and a little less gloss, this is definitely worth your time. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Apart from my minor gripes, they are minor. I gave this one 8 shots, actually. War and Pain, The Ones We Lost, and Coma and Human, my standard tracks on this one too. I enjoyed this one quite a bit, so well done to Visualis. Thanks for putting it out, and hopefully we get more from you soon. Nicole, here we go. Like this Visualis band, Man Family, seriously good tune, and Nicole's going the horns up on this one too. So we've got some love in the comments for Visualis, so keep it up. Hopefully we keep things moving on. All right, speaking of moving on, time to go to Fretboard Feud. We go through week by week, and we're going through 1985 month by month and picking albums and asking the audience to pick which one they like the most. Last week we did June. At that point in time, Bell was on 200 points, Jeff was on 190 points, I was on 170, Dave on 140. Round 6 was last time around. That was June, like I was saying. Dave picked Halloween with the self-titled EP. Bell picked the self-titled album from Heart. I chose Motley Crue, Theatre of Pain, and Jeff took Scorpions with Worldwide Live. This did change things up a bit, though, because Dave and Jeff both split points, and so did Bell and myself. 25 points and 45 points, respectively. So Dave jumps up to 165, Jeff up to 215, tied with me now on 215 as well, and Bell is still out in front on 245 points there. So we're playing catch up to Bell at the moment. That said, we rotate through. Whoever went last time around goes first in the new week. So Jeff, you're on the clock. I gave you all the list to go through for July 85. So which album are you picking from that month?
Oh my God! Is there a fly on the wall?
Is there a fly on the wall? Yeah.
Fucking hell. All right. Well, I think that's the probably the maybe the clear favorite. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes, but that's an interesting one. It's an interesting album, that one. Not my favorite from the band, but anyway, that's one off. No, I the mix, the plate reverb just fucking irks me. But anyway, good songs. Just the sound fucking irritates me. I know I'm picking
the sound. It's good.
Yeah. Anyway, Dave, sorry, I'm walling. It's your turn. Anyway, what are you picking this time around? I'm assuming you're going to take that one if you could, but what are you taking?
Yeah, if it was still there, I would have. It was actually the only album from this month I've actually heard, so I just picked a name. So I'm going with Jeff Beck, Flash.
Okay, cool. Nice.
I haven't heard it, but I'm hopeful.
It's not a prerequisite to have heard it. We're diving deep into 85 by doing this. There's going to be a lot of shit we haven't heard in this process. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. It'll be up to the audience at the end of the day. Belle, you get the third choice. What are you taking?
Yeah, exactly the same as what Dave just said. Fly on the Wall's the only album I'd heard. Saw some familiar names, hadn't heard any of the albums. I thought, I'll give one of them a couple of them a bit of a listen. And I decided to go with Tigers of Pantang.
Okay, yeah,
great band.
Yeah. I liked what I was hearing.
Yeah, no, not
sort
bad.
of like a glammy hard rock Queen. Like there was a lot of falsetto going. Maybe more darkness. But
John Sykes was in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I read their very long Spotify bio. But that was my pick.
All right, I get to go last, and I'm going to take It's funny because in my short list, 2 have been taken. So obviously AC/DC, but also Tigers Pantang was on my short list as well. Just as a quick reference, another one on my short list, but I'm not going to take it, was the Back to the Future soundtrack from that month. That was a bit of a fun one there to play with. But my actual choice is a bit of a joint homage to myself and to Jody's taste in music. I'm going to go with The Damned, Phantasmagoria. That's what I'm going to take off the board this time around. So that's our pick. So we'll see how the results go. There'll be a poll coming out in the coming days, guys. So again, Jeff has AC/DC Fly on the Wall. Dave has Jeff Beck with Flash. Belle has Tigers of Pantang, The Wreckage, and I've taken The Damned with Phantasmagoria. That is where we're at with that one. Alrighty. Which brings us on to something completely different, and my turn this week to have the game. So we enjoyed it last time around, so I'm going to try it again. This is Twisted Limericks, round 2. This is the one where I get you all to guess the fucking song and or band with what I'm talking about, and it's going to be just a nonsensical poem or lyrical thing, whatever it is that I've had. Obviously, AI helped me with, because these things are very hard to just do in any sort of time frame. But I do go through and edit and select and change. It's not just like just punch it out and off we go. I actually do very much proof and edit these ones to suit. Anyway, we know what the game is. I read out the words. You guys tell me if you can guess the song and the band, and we'll see who gets what right from there. So number one.
Sorry, just before we go any further. Yeah, did we jump in, or how do you want to do that? Like,
put your hand up and I'll pay attention to the screen as we go through things. Any other questions? We have done this one before, but it's been a little while. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is it still like guess the song? Like guess based on lyrics?
Guess the song based on a stupid limerick that I've got to describe it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I was writing down stuff. So
this is like a Dr. Seuss take on a song, and you're going to try and guess the song out of the context. So we'll see how we go with this one. Alrighty. Number one hopefully sets the tone, but we'll see how we go with this one. Number one. This band's got a growl and a grin, their rhythm a punch to the chin. But the monster they made now sounds like a blade, Dragula, but with skin. Dave?
Rob Zombie?
Yes.
Wasn't sure, but yeah, Dragula.
Yeah, no, you got Rob it. Zombie. There you go. Rob Zombie Dragula was that one there. So go for the artist first, and if you get the song title, it's an extra bit of hit there for you. All right, number two. Here we go. A march starts with piano and flair, emo uniforms dark as despair. But their gothic crusade now hawks, yes, Dave.
Green Day, that Boulevard, fucking Broken Dreams?
Nope. Nope. All right, so I'll start again. Dave's out. A march starts with piano and flair, emo uniforms dark as despair. But their gothic crusade now hawks cheap lemonade. Welcome to the snack parade.
Oh, fuck, the other band.
I know you know it now, Dave. We'll give everyone else a chance to go for it, but 3, 2, 1. Or Jeff?
I'm just going to take a chance. Is it The Offspring?
No. All right, Dave, another shot.
My Chemical Romance?
Yep. Black Parade. There we go.
Welcome to the Black Parade. Yeah, the Black Parade. Jade loves both those fucking bands now.
Alrighty, number 3. People, if you're getting in the comments, I'll try and get to them later on, but we'll see. I might just skim through those ones. All right, number 3. These shock rockers romped on the stage with fury and fashion and rage, but the end of their tale now reads like junk mail. School's out for voicemail.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Yes, Christ, I thought that, but I thought no.
But these aren't as complicated as you think. I've gone with these. There aren't rare names in this. So yeah, it was.
Okay.
When you say a song title, it seems too obvious.
Yeah, I know, but maybe that's the thing. Let's see if this one throws people off. Number 4. This track is a thriller, no doubt, with zombies and pop star clout. But the king of the night, Jeff, got there just first.
That'd be Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yes, it would. So there we go. That's one for Jeff. But the king of the night now lacks all his fright. Sausage just kinds of fall out. So
what? Well, his nose fell off.
Yeah, it's a bit twisted, but anyway, that's the game. We're away. Alrighty. Number 5. A grunge band that growled with a frown. From Seattle they tore the place down. But the angst they once wore, Jeff.
Nirvana.
No.
It wasn't. I could have went either way. All right, go ahead.
But the angst they once wore now sounds like a chore, even flow of a clown. Dave.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Jeff, you went too early, and that's the price you pay. All right, number 6. This song is a legend, no doubt, with a chorus you just have to shout. But now in this twist, it's a snack you can't miss. Sweet Child of Mint wins the bout.
Oh, there's 2 bands in there. Fuck.
No?
Can you go again?
I'll go again. This song is a legend, no doubt, with a chorus you just have to shout. But now in this twist, it's a snack you can't miss. Sweet Child of Mint wins the bout. No. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll put an asterisk next to it in case we need a tiebreaker. Otherwise, I'll come back and I'll just give you what the answer was. Number 7. These shockers wore makeup with pride. From Detroit, they party worldwide. But the night they once owned, Dave. Yes. There we go. Belle, are you enjoying this? Because you're not even.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of them.
All right. For this, from Detroit, they'd party worldwide, but the night they once owned now sounds overblown. I was made for mincing, they cried. That was the finish of that one. Number 8. This anthem once roared with a clash, a warning of nuclear bash. But the fallout today sounds more like a buffet. 2 minutes to mash, then we dash. Dave?
Iron Maiden?
Yes. You got to go with your gut, man. There we go. All right. Number 9. I'm not going to need a tiebreaker, but number 9. A love song that rocked every prom with lighter flames held in your palm. But now with this change, it's disturbingly strange. Every rose has a yawn. Dave first.
Poison.
Yes. Oh, well. 2 more to go. Number 10. A bluesy riff kicks off this song from a band that's been loud all along, but the title's now changed and sounds prearranged. Whole lot of scone. It's just wrong.
That's Zeppelin?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll give that one to Jeff. Just got there. And the last one. Their message was simple and bold with chaos and anarchy soul, but now this punk scream is a breakfast time meme. Dave?
Sex Pistols.
Yes, it was anarchy in the cereal bowl. That was the finale of that one there. So there we go. Let me go back down here. I've fucked myself up here by scrolling too far one way or the other, but I'm going to quickly go back and recap that one. Dave blissed it in case you were worrying about a score. I'm not going to bother giving a score. Dave smoked it. But the one you missed, I'll go back to number 6. This song is a legend, no doubt. With a chorus, you just have to shout. But now with this twist, it's a snack you can't miss. Sweet Child of Mint wins the bout. Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mint.
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
Wow.
That one just went weird.
And funnily enough, Jolie put in Discord that one that was not missed. So Jolie got it. We'll give one to Jolie on that one there. So there we go. Nicole said back going through the comments here, Jeff Beck, Flash, great album. Tigers, old school awesomeness. Andy, good to see Andy Pandy. I tripped over rock and ended up here. Well, I'm glad you tripped over rock and ended up here. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Nicole's gone through a bunch of guesses and she was getting them right as well. So she got the Guns N' Roses and all her stuff there as well. But you got 8 wrong, the Clash warning. So not quite that one there. But the other ones you got right. So well done there, Nicole. Alrighty. As we go through things, hopefully everyone enjoyed that game. It is a bit of silly fun, but it is one of those ones that's something stupid to do. It seems to pass the time and it seems to not go too long, which is all right too. So Jolly says, I wanted Dave to get that one. No, he didn't get that one. Of all the ones he didn't get, it was the Guns N' Roses.
All the one.
It's always the way. All right, well, we're not going to steal Dave's thunder here because the next segment of the show belongs to Dave. This is Global Grooves, where we explore things from overseas if we choose to. And Dave has got the choice this week. He chose Wednesday 13, Mid-Death Crisis. It's 12 tracks, 43 minutes, the 10th studio album from the American horror rock outfit, released April 2025 by Napalm Records. Produced by Alex Kane at KMS Studios, mixed by Steve Everts with artwork by Johnny Bush. 3 singles have been released from this one, including When the Devil Commands and In Misery, with this also featuring a guest spot from Tame Down, a Faster Pussycat. The album is hailed by Wednesday 13 himself as a fun, campy, leave your brain at the door rager and a deliberate return to his sleazy 1980s inspired hard rock roots. This is an artist we've given a fair bit of time to over the years, but one that always especially pops up around Halloween. Dave handpicked this one, like I said, weeks ago. So finally, Dave, have at it.
All right. Obviously, I'm quite a big fan of Wednesday 13. And my daughter is becoming one too. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Because when I was playing, when The Devil Commands came out, I was playing it while I was cooking dinner. Jade comes out with the whole "Hail Satan, tell me your commands," and Jade's like, "Who's this?" I'm like, "Wednesday 13." He's like, "I like it." I'm like, "Oh fuck." By complete contrast, when I'm playing I Love to Say Fuck, Rory's like, "Dad, that's the most inappropriate song ever."
Wow.
That's the whole point. But yeah, I had a lot of expectations for this. And when I heard this being his 10th solo album, Wednesday planned to do something special. And he certainly did. Now, 10 solo albums. Add in 2 albums from the Murder Dolls, 6 albums, including live and demos from Bourbon Crow, his country and western band. Not as bad as it sounds. 1 album from Gunfire 676. 4 albums from Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13. And 2 albums from Manic Spider Trash, as well as a tour for the last 30 years each year. And Wednesday 13 would easily be one of the busiest motherfuckers in the music world. And how many albums that is collectively, but it's a fucking lot.
Yeah.
Mid-Death Crisis has everything you would expect from a Wednesday 13 album and some surprises as well. You have the expected horror humor that he always does so well, much like his earlier solo albums, going back to Transylvania 90210 and Calling All Corpses. This is right up that alley. But you also get the heavier, brutal stuff like he did on albums like Condolences and recently Horrifier. You also get some straight-up rockers like what he did on Fang Bang. This would probably be the definitive Wednesday 13 album. It could probably have been a self-titled album, but Wednesday 13 as a band and an artist doesn't work as a self-titled album. You need something over the top and tongue-in-cheek to call the album as well. It's like those old American horror hosts that used to host movies, like Tales of the Crypt Presents or Wednesday 13 Presents Mid-Death Crisis. That's the musical equivalent of that horror shit. Yep. Vocally, he sounds fucking awesome on this release. He just gets better and better with age, much like Alice Cooper. Right from the first single, When the Devil Commands, I could tell this album was going to be awesome. Vintage horror humor-filled lyrics with heavy guitar tone. The band sounds amazing. They now have the drummer that was previously in Wasp. So I think that's a fantastic addition because this guy hits fucking hard. Production's awesome. Guitar solos really stood out, and plenty of Hail Satans, which is always a good thing. Hail Dark Lord. Quickly followed up as a single with In Misery. As soon as I heard this, I had a feeling this might, in terms of composition and production, maybe not some of the best songs he's ever done. This album is certainly one of the best things he's ever produced because this song in itself has something he's never really done before. Multi-layering. The clean tone, the clean melody over a heavy guitar riff. Usually it's pretty straightforward, 2 guitar players playing the same thing, but this had different levels of composition. Like, fuck, as far as Wednesday 13 goes, this is prog rock territory. This is cool. But I was really drawn in when that song came on first time I heard it. Lyrically, it makes me smile. Only Wednesday could make misery and unhappiness funny. The blood-drenched solo guitar at the start is an awesome touch as well. There was a surprise single released just before the album came out with the No Apologies of Tie Me Down in it. That's just a straight-up rocking song. Plenty of na-na-nas, which you once again you can easily sing along with. 3 singles, all very different, and all very different sides of Wednesday 13. There's a documentary on YouTube that has the recording of this album. It's like, it goes for an hour and has all different types of sections, like from composition to release, basically. And you talk to the engineer and have them in the booth. They did that song in particular on there. The guy who actually recorded the documentary is part of doing the na-na-nas. So
wow, cool. That's awesome. I'll check that out. Dave, send me a link to that. I'll check that out.
I will. Now, this next part is also in this video. The intro to the album, There's No Such Thing as Monsters. There's a really, really high-tech vocal effect on this. It's straight out of the 80s, okay? Who remembers Masters of the Universe?
Oh, my God.
You remember Snake Mountain, how it came with that microphone?
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
He's using that.
Shit.
He's holding fucking
is that what
Snake
it is?
Mountain up to the... Yeah, and he's doing it through that mic.
Wow.
And it's an original too. It's like broken. It's broken in half.
Yeah.
He's like had this battery in it for 15 years, and he did it on the previous album like 10 years ago. But he's holding half a Snake Mountain. And he's got it up to the fucking studio mic. And he's just talking into the. There's no such thing as monsters.
That's amazing. That's what that was. Wow.
That's what that sound is. He used that.
That is so cool.
Yeah. He's like, I got two newer ones in a box at home, but this is my original from when I was a kid.
Wow.
That's fucking cool. Yep. Moving into other parts of the album, Decapitation has some hilarious lyrics. They're simple and predictable, but that's what makes Wednesday 13 fun. It's rewarding. You can sing along with it on your first listen and laugh at the same time, knowing that this is so fucking stupid, but it's brilliantly done. You just anticipate the rhyme. And it's like, yes, it's just gratification in the sickest possible way. Nobody else does it this well. Personal highlight for me is Xan Ecstasy. Instant fucking headbanger and massive classic. Such a rocking song. It's catchy and I cannot help screaming along with it. I love singers that just belt it out and leave absolutely nothing behind. It's harsh and coherent, and the lyrics that fit me to a T. I cannot help sing along with, am I insane or am I just crazy? Am I schizophrenic? But I love how he adds that little bit of shift to his vocals and puts that, or does it make a difference tonight? A little bit of personality, like what Alice Cooper used to do. Yeah, and it just makes listening to harsh vocals a little bit more fun because he adds the camp humor into the whole aggressive, like, I know I'm fucking around. That song's actually a rework of a song from 2014 that was a rare B-side. So you hear that, it's like an old punk rock cross with Kiss, where this is more of a fitting the rest of the album. Of course, you got songs like The Cheerful, My Funeral. If you're already a Wednesday 13 fan, you know what you're going to expect. I had high hopes for this album, and I'm certainly happy with it. I give this 10 out of 10. All the songs were standout. I think it's fucking amazing. And if you're keeping paying attention, I just gave it more than I gave Dream Theater.
Nice. Yeah, that's impressive. So well done there. That's cool. Nicely done indeed. All right, well, let's continue to do the rounds on this one. Let's go to Jeff next. How did you go with this one? Well done, Dave. That was a good review.
Yeah, it was a good review, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. Look, the less I say about this band, the better. Let's just move on.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
No score, nothing. No, not even AI.
Nope.
Wow, yeah, no, I just couldn't even.
Sorry, I look. I understand it's a cool band. I don't mind. They're talented. This is certainly there. I don't get it. It's just not for me. And so I don't want to rain anybody's parade. So let's just move on.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. No, apologize. I don't know. All righty, Bill. Let's go to you then instead.
Okay. I liked it. The opening track, There's No Such Thing as Monsters. Despite its reassuring title, the song is in no way comforting. And I get that's probably the point, and it's creepy as shit, and it's awesome. I love it. No one does horror metal better than Wednesday 13 has nailed the vibe in such a fun way. It's musically infectious, lyrically captures the essence of fun that horror fans feel when watching a horror movie, especially, you know, the slashers, like not the, I don't know, there's different levels of horror. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's silly, and someone gets murdered in the most horrible way, and it's hilarious. Wednesday 13 captures that. Yeah, it's just such an easy music album to listen to and enjoy, and listening to Wednesday 13 always gives me an energy boost. He just peps me up every time I hear it. It's not complicated, it's not wanky, it's just down and dirty rock and roll, and you're guaranteed a good time with this album. My favorite tracks were Decapitation and In Misery, and I give it 8 shots.
Nice, cool. Alrighty, we do have the battle coming up, Andy. So it is coming up. Just so people see in the comments, it's just like, so is Cold Chisel clickbait? No, it's not. It's coming. Just got to get through this segment first. So for me, I'm not as what Dave and I have got an interesting colorful. If you go back through the history of us on the show and Wednesday 13, Dave and I have had some interesting back and forth on this particular catalog of work, and I am a fan now, but it took me a lot longer to get there than it took Dave to get there. I agree with, I don't know, Dave, if you feel the same way as what I'm about to say, but I think this could be his best album yet. Like, out of everything I've heard him do, I think this is the most well-rounded, best representation of him. For me, this is, I think, his best one yet. I really, really enjoyed this. Like I said, I came to Wednesday 13 later than Dave did, but over time, his work has started to click. Horrify, the last album, sort of got me really into it. And this one here, I was like, fuck, yeah, this is what I want. This one did not disappoint. I reckon this will do both, satisfy longtime fans and bring in new fans as well. This kicks off with that, like what David's now explained how and why, but that instrumental is really, really cool. That atmospheric track to open things off is really nicely. It sets the mood. Then it just rips into things with the cease and desist. Straight after that, When the Devil Commands comes in with an absolutely filthy fucking riff. Between this and the Muse track earlier tonight, I've got 2 riffs and I'm like, oh my God, I've got ones already for, you know, riff of the year contenders for me at the end of the year. Like, they're fucking solid, man. But When the Devil Commands, the groove, the swing, the energy is such, that's a fucking great song. It's a standout for me. I just, the dive bomb in there too, like that. It's got everything. The double kick, the whole little bits and bits, like it's got everything you want to have a song.
That music video is hilarious too. He's like standing on the fucking church chairs playing the solo. Like, yeah, that's the shit.
It's fantastic. This whole album is just packed with energy. Yeah, it's dark, it's gritty, it's fun though. This is classic Wednesday 13. It's that horror punk kind of thing, but it feels tighter. It feels more infectious than ever as well at the same time. There is that shock and theater to it, but it's dialed in perfectly. The hooks are in these songs as well. You can just tell these tracks are going to go off live as well for mine. The production, which Dave mentioned as well, is bang on. This hits hard. It's clear, it's balanced, but everything punches the way it should on this one. It still feels raw. It feels real. There's this great blend on the sound of this one, which is sort of grit and clarity. Those two things combined that work so well for what he's done with this album here, or the band overall. I say him, but it's obviously the whole band. The guest spot from Tame Down on No Apologies is a nice touch on this one as well. Adds a glam edge that ties in with the whole sleazy 80s throwback vibe that is across the album. It's a perfect sort of, I think this is a perfect Halloween album in that sense, but that punk attitude, apart from the spookiness, sort of really helps it stand apart. What I love, though, is that while it's not doing anything wildly complex across the listen or overly experimental, this is Wednesday 13 distilled into his purest, best form as far as I'm concerned. That said, it knows what it is. It does that one thing well, but there are little surprises, too, along the way here. Things like that doo-wop moment in Decapitation. That's like, where'd that come from? That was fucking great. That contrasts beautifully, especially on that song with the subject matter being explored lyrically. Those little details like that and other ones mentioned across this album really keep this one engaging from beginning to end. In Misery is another standard track for me. It's catchy but laced with melancholy, and the storytelling throughout the album is incredible. Tracks like I Hurt You and My Funeral slow things down a bit without losing the vibe. The whole thing just flows smoothly from beginning to end. They've nailed the pacing and the dynamics on the album. Honestly, like I said before, this is really well rounded. It's simple, yes, but it's light, it's energetic. Tight, energetic, and full of personality. That's the thing that stands out to me the most on this one. If you're into the horror sort of, if Rob Zombie like me is my more of a go-to thing, this album is one that I was a fan on Horrifier. That was one that locked me in. This one has turned me into like, oh fuck yeah, this is really fucking good. This is going to be up there at the end of the year. If you like anything sort of horror, glam, punk related, adjacent to any of that sort of stuff, this is one that's going to fucking really, really impress you. I gave this one 9 shots, Dave. I loved it. When the Devil Commands, In Misery, and I Hurt You are my standouts, but there's fucking great songs all over this one. I think there's something here for everyone too, apart from Jeff tonight, which is unfortunate, but there we go. Just to throw a little barb there. But Jeff, it is done with love. And speaking of you and your say on things, you didn't say much before, but now you'd have to, because you've got the next pick. So you got to tell us now which album we're doing next week for Global Groove or Global Groove.
Oh shit!
Really? Because
really. I'll get back to you. Well, it's just been 3 weeks off, and everything is just bang. Move on. I'll get back to you.
All right, we'll come back to it. All right. So, quickly here, Guru has gone. Dave's got a new backdrop. Nice. So, Dave, what did you edit to your backdrop there? Just while we quickly pad some time here. Guru.
Nothing.
Nothing. I didn't think so. I'm like, did you do something?
I literally haven't been out here in a couple of weeks, and things have just shifted out of place.
Oh, well, there we go. The battle is up next, folks, so we are nearly there. It's not going to be a deep review, but anyway, Jolie said Wednesday 13, I still need to listen to it properly. I know I'll probably love it, but my vote next time. Probably love it, but my vote next time. Sorry, till I officially listen to it. Okay, I'm not sure. There's a bit of context missing there, I think. But anyway, Michael says, actually got to listen to this properly. An enjoyable album, sounds great. Well, definitely a gimmick band, fun listen that rocks from start to finish. Be great live. 8 shots. There we go. There's some cool feedback.
Fuck. You got to see Wednesday 13 live. It's fucking insane.
No, I haven't yet, but I've seen the videos that you've sent through in the past.
I could not talk the next day after seeing him. You were singing along to every word. Well, harshly.
Yeah. You had the time of your life. What was Glamfest, was it? Was that Glamfest?
Glamfest.
Yeah.
That's right. It was Eclipse and then Wednesday 13.
Yeah, that's right.
2 hours was fucking great.
You had a great time.
And then I saw him do the Murder Dolls earlier last year, I think it was. Like 2 hours set of Murder Dolls songs. Fuck. Like his voice is much better now than it was 20 years ago. I've seen videos.
Agree. Yep. I think he's actually improved in leaps and bounds, and each album seems to get better and better. That's why I think this one's like the best one. It's just a pure distillation of what he does so well. But anyway, we've been going on about that one for a while Jeff does that. Andy Benny said, thanks for the reply. I'm a virgin here. Well, it doesn't matter. Whenever you get here is when you get here. And I'm glad you're enjoying the show and hanging around with us too. So I'm glad to have someone here for the first time and hanging around with us, because the battle is coming up, and that's Cold Chisel versus Vulvagun in a moment. Jeff, do you have an answer?
Maybe. I've come up with a couple albums that I wouldn't mind reviewing. I just don't remember. We didn't do the Screaming of the Valkyries, did we? The Cradle of Filth. Did we do that?
No, we haven't done that one yet.
No.
All right, I'll lock that in. Yeah.
All right. Cool. There we go. That'll be next week, folks.
Yeah.
That'll be next week. Cradle of Filth. I haven't done Cradle of Filth on the show for a little while.
No, because I remember talking about that album a while back. So yeah. I was just trying to go through things. So I think I actually might have mentioned. That's why I was thinking, did we do it? No, we didn't review it, but I had mentioned it.
Not here or on Sundays. It hasn't been done at all this year yet. So it'll be a new one for everything there. All right. Cool. All right. That's the last bit of housekeeping done. We can now get into the main event of the evening, which gets 2 albums back and go head to head. This is all Australian. This is King of the Riff. As we go through things week on week, we do a battle. And here we go. There are some reference tracks jumping into the comments now, so go and check those out if you haven't already, because Vulvagun can be hard to track down these days. But this is round 2 of the all Australian edition of King of the Riff. Like I was saying before, we've gone through a bunch of albums, made them all out and seeded them all out and got the battle rounds to go together. And now we're into round 2, which is Cold Chisel with East going up against Vulvagun, Cold Moon over Babylon. Bit of a twist in the tail in this one. We usually have everything on Spotify, and it was until I think earlier this week when suddenly Vulvagun's catalog disappeared, which was fucking bad timing. But anyway, so we do have, it is on YouTube. If you can't find it on Spotify, that's why. Check it out on YouTube. There is a playlist of the whole album, which I do encourage everyone to go and check out. But like I was saying, as we do week on week, we do a battle, and this is where we go through and see which one is going to come out on top. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. This here is a matchup that perfectly sums up the chaos that is this whole idea between King of the Riff. We go through and pick albums ourselves and use the audience feedback and all that kind of stuff, and then we make it all work, and then it just churns out wild things. Like last week was an interesting one with INXS versus Tragic Earth, and we got the upset up on our side of things here. Let's see if the same thing happens tonight. On one side here, we have Cold Chisel, Australian rock royalty, rolling in with East, a record that helped define an entire generation. It's got the anthems, it's got the story, it's got the sing-alongs. This thing's been played in pubs, on playlists, in the hearts of Aussies for well over 40 years now. Then on the other side, you've got Vulvagun flying the flag for underground metal with a concept or theme album steeped in darkness, mythology, and fire-breathing ambition. Cold Moon Over Babylon didn't shake the world, but it sure as hell meant something to the few who found it, me included. It's power metal with purpose, carved from a very different part of the Aussie music scene. This is a battle of mainstream legacy versus niche mythology, platinum versus cult. But hey, just because one album soundtracked 1,000 backyard barbecues doesn't mean the other one doesn't deserve a seat at the table. Let's see what happens when swagger meets steel as we go through these ones here. Now, because I was the one that picked Vulvagun, I locked it in, and it's the lowest seed out of the battle tonight. I'm going to go first with my 5 reasons why I'm picking one album over the other one. So for me, this is two worlds apart, but both deeply engaging. I mean, that these albums couldn't be more fucking different. One's a timeless Aussie rock staple, the other a dark concept or theme-driven metal odyssey. They're both incredibly rewarding to me, but when taken in as a whole, you don't skip through either. You live while you're listening to these ones. For me, as is no surprise, or shouldn't be, I'm backing the underdog in this one, but not out of pity or any obligation. I brought it into the whole thing, and yes, I locked it in, but I'm going to go with it, but not because of those reasons. I'm backing it in because it's genuinely that fucking good as far as I'm concerned. It has stuck with me from the first time we heard it back in 2012 when it was. And from the first spin to now, over a decade later, I still love this album as much as I did when I first heard it. Chisel is a classic, don't get me wrong. East is a fantastic album, but I don't think it's a flawless album. There's no denying East deserves its legendary status. It's full of hits and social commentary that still resonates today, I think probably even more so in some songs. But if I'm being honest, there are a few tracks that whilst I don't skip anything, I can drift while listening to them. They don't quite hold me. It's great, just not quite watertight in that context. Whereas for me, Vulvagun is riveting from start to finish. Cold Moon Over Babylon it's a debut album for starters, but it plays like a band already in full command of their vision. They are experienced musicians by the time they got to this point. But the depth of the storytelling, the atmosphere, the intensity of the album for me, it's heavy in every sense, but it locks you in and doesn't let you go. Even a little instrumental in the middle of the album and I remember speaking to Wayne, who put this whole album together. He said he put the instrumental there on purpose because that's where, if you're listening to a vinyl album, that's where you'd take it over and flip from side A to side B. Like the album craft from this from beginning to end is actually honed and fucking nailed. For me, Vulvagun is a cult classic waiting to be found. It breaks my heart that the album is so damn hard to find now. It's the kind of record that should grow into that sort of cult legendary status. I hope one day over the decades it will. Not just because it's hard to find now, but because it's genuinely special to me. This isn't just on taste. This is on conviction for me. I've loved it from the day I heard it, like I said before, and I still just as much today, all these years on. So when it comes down to that old adage of which album I'm going to reach for first, I'm reaching for Vulvagun, Cold Moon Over Babylon, over Cold Chisel East. Not because I picked it, but because I love it that damn much. So, like I said, I'm backing the underdog, but let's see what happens. Belle, you locked in East, so give us the reply.
I don't think this is going to be a shock, but I'll go through the motions.
Yes.
By the way, that was a passionate choice. Review, whatever you want to call it. That was cool, actually. I enjoyed that. Yeah, Vulvagun, I'd heard of them. I hadn't actually heard them. Here I go again. I think, yeah, Andrew, I was surprised. I thought, all right, you picked this album, so not to pigeonhole you, but I'm going to pigeonhole you. I was expecting some kind of Aussie style rock, maybe like a 2000s rocked up version of Cold Chisel. Cool. So up against East, I was thinking, it'll be like a comparable match, but a no-brainer. But I was fucking shocked. I was completely shocked when I put this Vulvagun album on.
Yep.
It was like straight up epic metal.
Yeah.
Like what? I just and
have surprises,
even before you put it forward, but even before that, I don't know why, because I had heard of them. I just had this. I don't know. I just had this. Like preconceived notion that like they were like a Powderfinger, like maybe a heavier version of Powderfinger or something. And so I don't know, I guess that was kind of further cemented when you picked them. Not that I'm saying you like Powderfinger. I'm digging a hole.
Just
anyway,
yeah.
I'll just get on with it. Yeah, so like I put the album on, and after half a song I'm thinking, wow, this is fucking awesome. What the fuck am I going to do? Like this gets like, I was thinking, please get worse. And let the first track just be amazing and the rest of the album be shit. So then I can still just get on with my life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, that's too much to ask. Like it was just, continued to be awesome. So, yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's the main thing. Yeah.
So good. Really, really cool. So yeah, anyway, this was much harder than I anticipated it would be, as it turns out. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this album. It just, my expectations or assumptions, I should say, just completely went out the window.
Yeah.
And I'm an ass. Anyway, but as good as this album was, I'm still going to go with Cold Chisel. Not because I'm familiar with it and not because I put it forward, but for a reason that I've used before quite a lot. And that is because I like the variety that I got in East more than the Vulvagun album. Like it was awesome. It was epic. It was powerful. It was cool. And I'll definitely listen to it again. And I get why you love it so much. But it was song to song quite similar. Whereas I can put on East and enjoy the variety in it, as I said. So anyway, so I'll stand by my lock-in and go with East.
Cool. We've done the obligatory. We've done the harder ones or easier ones to pick, I guess. We've gone with our who picked what choices. Now it's over to the people that have had no dog in this fight until now. No. So let's go to Jeff next and give Dave the final word on this one.
All right. So coming to Australia, 25 years ago, I'd never heard a Cold Chisel. I had never heard Jimmy Barnes. And as it happened, my ex-wife, but then wife, Jimmy Barnes was one of her favorites. So I was like, all right. And I was exposed to a lot of Cold Chisel, a lot of Jimmy Barnes solo stuff, and great songs. But it was like, fuck, what is up with this guy's screech? It used to do my fucking head in. But having said that, it grew on me after a while. There's some great songs, and this album is just like, if you were sitting down to write an album, if you were trying to put an album together, and you come up with, how many songs are on this album? What is it? 12,
Cold Chisel.
13? Yeah. What is it? It's 10 or 12.
Is
whatever
12.
It is.
Yep.
12 songs.
12.
Yeah. So to sit down and write an album like that and come up with so many freaking amazing songs that would stand the test of time, 40 plus years, be played on, countless radio. We're talking countless radio used in TV ads. And we're talking like, this is as big as it gets in Australia. Seriously, it doesn't get any bigger than that. All the Australian bands that have ever been, it would be hard to argue that this isn't up there. So it's just iconic. And I still have never heard of it. They never toured Canada that I know of. They never toured the United States. They may have. I just wasn't aware of them. But I grew to like it, grew to love it. And then, of course, there's Vulvagun, Another band. Well, who the fuck are these guys? Never heard of them. No idea. No fucking clue. So I was pleasantly surprised when Cold Moon Over Babylon was playing, and I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. This is not what I expected. I didn't expect this. So it was kind of like, I think what I didn't expect the most was I didn't expect it for some reason to sound like to be Australian. I thought it was going to be, you know, from New York or someplace in someplace in Europe or someplace. It just didn't seem like something that was going to be come out of Australia. And I'm not trying to pigeonhole anybody or anything. It just didn't sound Australian to me. And yet, what you said, that more people need to listen to this. More people need to be exposed because this is a pretty interesting band. And while I haven't heard, I don't know how many albums they have in their catalog. I have no idea. 2. Okay. That many.
Yep, that's all I did. Yep.
Wow. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Obviously, you know, we got the pedigree. You know, they're doing the mile and they're laughing everybody. These guys shouldn't be overlooked. I think that Vulvagun offers something special and unique in Australian music. And I think they offer something that needs to be heard by more people. So I'm going to actually go with Vulvagun.
Oh, wow. There we go. All right. Dave, final word. Which way are you going to decide this one?
Interesting thing about both of these albums for me, I've never actually heard both of these in full.
Oh, wow.
Vulvagun, I've never actually heard. I've heard you talk about it for fucking ages, but I've never actually had the chance to listen to it.
Yeah.
And Cold Chisel, I've never heard the whole East album. I've heard most of the songs on it, but I've never actually sat down and listened to the whole thing. Didn't have to.
Cool.
Vulvagun's fucking awesome. It's right up my alley. Fantastic guitar playing, awesome solos. Just the whole thing was fucking great. So I'm glad I finally got to hear it. Cold Chisel, honestly, radio has killed this fucking album for me. I could turn on Triple M right now and chances are they're playing a fucking song off this album. So listening to it, I skipped quite a lot. Like, yep, that song. Oh, I don't know this one. I'll listen to this. Yep, skip that one. But credit to them because I know so many of the songs. I've never actually listened to the album, but it's just fucking everywhere. But it was 30 years ago. It's time to move on, radio. Really hard to compare these two albums because they are different worlds. I can enjoy both depending on what mood I'm in. But this week I just enjoyed Vulvagun a lot more. So I listened to the whole album. I skipped a lot of Cold Chisel, so I'm going with Vulvagun.
Wow, that's 2 weeks in a row. That's 2 weeks in a row. We've got a massive upset. Sorry, Belle.
Yeah, both my albums. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Both of your albums have been pipped by underdog Aussie bands.
Yeah. And, I'm just over the same fucking songs over and over on radio.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There is that. But
You know
where
what's
did these
now?
guys come from? Amazing.
Yeah, no, they were in Outer East Melbourne. Belle's going to go the next season to King of the Riff. She's going to go and find the most obscure, annoying thing she can find just to see if that will get up over the iconic albums next time around.
Enough of the iconic albums. Clearly,
I'm not doing the easy choices anymore. Fuck these guys. But look, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's interesting how for us it has been 2 weeks in a row where it's been 3-1. It's the exact same result between Tragic Earth and sorry, I forget the album last week. Now I can pull it up.
In Excess.
Sorry, yeah. Kick. And so, yeah, Tragic Earth for us beat In Excess, and this time around, Vulvagun for us beats Cold Chisel. It's just quite remarkable. I'm happy. Obviously, I was backing an underdog in, but there we go. I'll take it where I can. But Belle, commiseration. Yeah, both of your albums, unfortunately, week after week have been just fucking bang, bang. So out in straight sets, unfortunately, Belle. All right. But we do have an audience proponent to this one, which is not nearly as it is cut and dry, but it's the same as last week. It's the other way around. So it's about 75% of the vote went to Cold Chisel. Don't think it's a huge surprise in the audience vote of things, especially considering how hard it is to listen to the Vulvagun album these days in particular. But the audience tree is different to our tree 2 weeks in a row. We'll see how this one plays out. The next battle we're going to go through is, speaking of things like this, Belle, Powderfinger. Vulture Street is up next week.
Oh, God.
versus Toe Hider. I have little to no memory of these memories. Those are the albums going head-to-head next week. So
I'm going with Toe Hider.
Spoiler alert.
Toe Hider and who? Who was the other one?
Toe Hider up against Powderfinger. I think that might have been both your choices, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So there we go. So Jeff's going to be fucked either way.
So win-win, lose-lose.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones. All right, so just go through some comments here before we finally wrap things up here. Michael says, yes, Jeff, you made me happy with Cradle of Filth. So hell yeah, there we go. That's for next week. Adrian says, I want that somewhere in my time. I want that somewhere in time vinyl, Bell. Very, very cool.
Oh, yes.
Good luck.
This is like the tour edition. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for appreciating.
It's very nice. I've been eyeing it myself.
Nicole says, I had to go with Vulvagun seeing as my name appears on the album. Wayne's voice has always been amazing for over 40 years. The band are excellent too. Yes, they are a great band. Wayne has a great pedigree as well. Andy says, it's hard when you don't let us hear them. I won't be back. Sorry. Well, my apologies. You can hear...
you can listen to them.
You can hear Vulvagun, you can hear both of them. We don't play the music in full here. It's a live stream. We don't do that. We've never done that on the live stream side of things. So unfortunately, if you don't tune in, that's okay. Hopefully you enjoyed what you did enjoy the show tonight anyway. But that is the battle for tonight. So next week, like I said, Powderfinger versus Toehider. It's going to be interesting. Another weird battle. Like that's going to be I don't know what the hell to make of that, but it'll be interesting. Alrighty, so as usual, you can make sure you check us out on TV as well. We've got 10:30 p.m. Saturday night, Channel 30 in Melbourne, and 10:30 p.m. Thursday night, Channel 44 in Adelaide, local time, both of those, of course. Next week's show, which has the Hot Rocks happenings and all the usual stuff. We also have Backyard Banger, which is on my command with their album Conquer. That's Dave's assignment. We have albums from August 85 to go through. Bell has the game to play next week. That's Bell's assignment to go through. And Jeff has the Cradle of Filth album. Was it Cry of the Valkyries? I forget the name.
Scream of the Valkyries.
Scream of the Valkyries, sorry.
Yep.
And then we have the battle, Powderfinger versus Toehider. That is the plan there. What do we got here? Michael says, older generation, remember East coming out 10 shots from me. Love it. There we go. And Kat says, later, peeps. Have a good weekend. Likewise, here. This is the pre-weekend stuff here. And Michael says, was hilarious as general population heard it, as it made a huge impression. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing there with East, as it was there. I believe we're talking about East there. But anyway, it is time, as always, at the end of the show to raise a glass. So let's do the rounds here. Belle, let's start with you. What are you raising a glass to this week?
Well, I don't actually have anything to raise a glass to. And I knew that in advance because I actually thought about this time and thought, well, don't just like come up with something on the spur of the moment, something shit like, oh, you know, I love you guys, you know, raise a glass to you, which, you know, I've done that. Like, you deserve it, but I've done that. So I thought, what can I do? All right, I'll come up with a random fun fact.
Okay, cool.
So I did that, and the random fun fact is that Finland is the happiest country on Earth, according to the World Happiness Report, whatever the fuck that is. But it has been the happiest country for 6 years in a row. So there you go.
Cool.
There's a random fun fact.
How much depressing music comes from Finland.
Maybe that's why they're happy. They have to get out of their system. Maybe that's
Finland. Why. Oh no, that's more Norway. And like I've got a quick top 10. Australia came in at 10th. We're apparently the 10th happiest country in the world. Yeah. 9 is Switzerland. 8 is Luxembourg. 7 is Norway. So apparently they're pretty happy over there, even with all the doom and gloom and black metal.
They like the woods. But anyway.
Yeah, they must be happy in there. Netherlands came in 6th, Israel came in 5th, and then Sweden, Iceland, and Denmark. So the Nordic countries is the place to be if you want to be happy. It is not Australia. It's like
still top 10's not bad. I'll take it.
Top 10's pretty good, yeah. Anyway, so that's my. So raise a glass to Finland.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Finland.
There we go.
No sign of America on that list.
No, and there won't be for many years to come, I don't think. Anyway, alrighty, Jeff, have you got something prepared this week?
Yeah. So, random fact: bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Raise a glass to for bananas.
Apparently, bananas are also radioactive.
Yeah.
Slightly. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
potassium content. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry, I'll shut up. This is your
No, that's cool. So, well, you say what you want. So you did the random fact. I had a random fact ready just to go bank. I do that.
Wow.
But
nice.
Actually, look, we took a number of weeks off, and I've never been so fucking bored in my fucking life. So I am so happy as fuck to be back and see all you fine people and be back for the grander audience out there. So thank you for having me. Thank you for all that. I love you guys. And just what Belle said. So
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Raise a glass. There we go. All righty. Dave, next one is to you.
All right, no explanation needed. Raising a glass to Bill Ward, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, and Aussie fucking Osborne.
Yes.
That was
there
great.
we go.
Yes.
Joel just said the same thing in Discord too. So that farewell, well done to Aussie and the rest of the crew. Definitely well done.
Was really good.
All right, I get to wrap this one up here. I'm going to go with, like Jeff said, getting back in the saddle. We had a longer than planned break, but I'm glad we're back into it now, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year as we go through things. But also, it's going to sound a bit sort of in the weeds a little bit, but in the way this plays out, my personal one is that, getting good news in harder times. Like I said at the top of the episode, it's been a bit of a struggle last few weeks with a lot of things going on behind the scenes. But in amongst all that, I've had some really cool bits and pieces of news, which I can't share publicly yet because it's the people, information embargoes and stuff, just to do with family stuff. But it's all good news. Everyone's happy, healthy, and well. But when you get those bits of good news, they're like little islands of calm and beautifulness in that chaos and storm and like annoyance that can be the real world sometimes. So I'm just going to raise a glass. Those little oases of little happy moments that you can get in life and take them where you can, because I'm going to raise a glass to that this week. So there we go.
Absolutely. Don't take them for granted.
No, don't take them for granted because they're great, but no, I love them a lot. So there we go. I've had some cool news. I'll share it with you guys after the fact, but this is really cool. All right, let's see what the audience can say, because Jolie was agreeing with everyone there. The song Andrew Eater. Okay, there we go. Eater. All right, fine. Now I get what you're talking about. Ida, Eater, whichever one you take a bit from the Cold Chisel, that made the impression that was being talked about there from before. Yeah. All right. There we go. That song there. Jolly's Raising Glass, all that stuff. And then Women's Weekly magazine was huge on the old days. She was the editor at that time. Ida, yes. Okay. Ida Buttrose has gotten into recent hot water with other things as well. But anyway, good luck to her with her future endeavors, whatever they may be. Hopefully she stays away from the media. Anyway, that'll do it for now. Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you to you guys for joining me tonight on this chaos that we do here every week as we go along here. So a big thank you to Belle on the other side of the screen, to me, Dave opposite corner, and Jeff underneath on the screen there. Thank you for you and everything you do and the attention you put in and the time for taking the time to do the show with me every week. And also to all of you watching at home and to the new faces that come along as well. We had some good numbers tonight already. Yeah. So it's been cool to see people jumping in, and we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Hopefully same time and place as always, because back again at this one, same time, place next week. Until then, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Andrew, and you all know what to do. Until next time, as always, drink up, rock on.
Cheers.